Live from Studio 550, this is The McGraw Show on KTRS.
Well, it was a night that was, all the winners were spread all over the place. And the man who was there watching it for us, David Blaustein with ABC. David Blaustein, good morning this morning. You've probably gotten 0 minutes of sleep in the last 24 hours.
No. I got about 15.
Oh, okay, good. I don't feel so bad then. All
Thank
right,
you.
so overall, let's start at the top. Not a lot of surprises. Argo, when we talked to you on Friday, you thought had a pretty good shot of winning Best Picture.
Yeah, I think it was the clear front runner. And throughout the night, the way they set up the categories this year, it was hard to determine until very late in the show what was going to win. And there was a point when it seemed like Life of Pi might have some momentum. And then, of course, Ang Lee won Best Director. So you're thinking, maybe Life of Pi. And I'm willing to bet if they released the numbers, which they're not going to do, Life of Pi probably came in second. But, yeah, that was very predictable at this point that Argo was going to win.
You mentioned on Friday, and I was racking my brains out last night trying to remember, Argo is the second picture in the history to win Best Picture whose director was not nominated. What was the first?
Driving Miss Daisy.
Ah, right. Okay, good. I also, you can't help but like Ben Affleck and his speech that he gave. That was a nice speech.
It was a great speech, and the best part of the speech was the end of the speech when he told his daughters that he loved them and he had tears in his eyes. Mm-hmm. Now, what was great about that, and when he came backstage with Grant Heslov and George Clooney, because they were all producers of the movie, our position where we are in the press area, we sit all the way at the end of the room in the first position in the front of the table, and sitting right behind me, literally, McGraw, sitting down, snapping pictures, Jennifer Garner. It was great.
Oh, boy. So Jennifer Gardner was playing, stage mom last night? Stage wife, I guess?
The dutiful wife, I suppose. But, that was also a really funny moment when he talked about marriage as work.
Right.
That was interesting. I think he kind of put his foot in his mouth and he realized what was going on. If you noticed, he started sweating at about that point.
Oh, wait a minute. A billion people are watching. Wait a minute. I better clean this up a little bit.
That's right.
Jennifer Lawrence, how much of a surprise was it that she won?
Not a surprise at all. She was the favorite, and I did think that Emmanuel Riva could surprise and possibly win, and it would have been a great story. But she was the favorite going in. I thought she was going to win, even though I did think Emmanuel Riva had a shot. But nobody saw her trip up the stairs coming. she fell on her face. But she was great. She's so charming, and that's one of the reasons why people love Jennifer Garner, because she is charming. She got up, and people gave her a standing ovation, and she said, "Oh, you're just doing that because I fell. Please sit down. So embarrassing." And then gave a very witty and thoughtful speech that was funny. Then she came backstage, and the first question she was asked was why she fell. And she said, "Are you kidding? Why'd I fall? Did you see my dress? Because of my dress. Look at my dress." She fell on her dress. And then somebody asked her what was she thinking. She said, "Well, I was thinking a bad word that I can't say, and it starts with the letter F."
Yeah, she. You can definitely tell that she kept her composure, and it's just she's a girl you just want to hang with. She's sort of that sort of Sandra Bullock type of girl.
Yeah, she is. And, she's only 23, 24 years old. She's going to win a few more Oscars. This is not going to be her only Oscar. I can guarantee that. And, you see somebody like Anne Hathaway, too, who's definitely relatively young. She's only a few years older than Jennifer Lawrence. I mean, there are a lot of really talented young actresses out there. And, another actress, Amanda Seyfried, who you saw last night, I think is an excellent actress. And Samantha Barks, who was in Les Mis, I think we're going to hear from her probably in the near future as well. They really, Hollywood's most talented was definitely on display last night.
Yeah, and Daniel Day-Lewis, the first actor to win 3 Best Actor awards. Who knew that Meryl Streep was actually Steven Spielberg's first choice for Lincoln?
Daniel Day-Lewis, also another one who is charming and hilarious, and every time he gives an acceptance speech, he's funnier than the last time, which may explain, like I said before, why he channeled the great comedian Dana Carvey's angry old man to play Lincoln, because that is who he sounded like.
Any other surprises? What sort of caught your attention last night while watching this?
Well, Seth MacFarlane's performance certainly caught my attention. I'll get to that in a second. I probably said to you that I thought Ang Lee was going to win Best Director, but that seemed to catch a lot of people off guard. And Christoph Waltz, who I also said I thought should win for Best Supporting Actor, won. That caught even more people off guard, just because he didn't win the typical things that the Best Supporting Actor wins, and I don't even think he was nominated for the SAG Award, which is extremely unusual. And I don't know if anyone, I don't think anyone who's won Best Supporting Actor before has not been nominated for the SAG Award. So that was unusual, but, to me it was clearly the best performance. Now, we go back to Seth MacFarlane, and there are some people who are angry about his job last night, but then there are some people who love it, and I'm one of those people. I loved it. To me, Seth MacFarlane is the perfect Oscar host. He pushes the envelope. Yeah, there were some jokes that were definitely sexist. We saw your boobs. I mean, that's one for sure. But then again, he turns around, and I'm sure he had something to do with this. Sock puppet flight was amazing. That was one of the funniest bits in Oscar history. I promise you. I mean, it was really just that good. But then, there was definitely a joke that could be perceived as racist about Denzel Washington. And there was the joke about Abraham Lincoln, for some reason, didn't go over well. But do you know the joke I'm talking about?
Yes.
The only person to truly get inside Lincoln's head was John Wilkes Booth. And, of course, people groaned. He said, it's 150 years, really? Still too soon? But that was such a nice recovery. I thought every time he bombed with a joke, pretty much, he recovered really well. And, he's a guy, he can sing, and he can be funny, and he could also be charming as well. And I thought that was all on display last night. Again, the show was too long. There was a lot of bloat. We don't need to see best editing and best sound mixing and a bunch of other awards that most people don't care about. The show doesn't need to be more than 3 hours. Sometimes, in some cases, it doesn't even need to be 3 hours. I think people complained about the musical numbers, but we were forewarned. The producers said the theme of this show was going to be music, and we got a ton of music last night. Overall, I thought it was a solid show. Again, it was too long. I thought Seth was great, and it was fairly predictable with a few surprises thrown in.
I didn't. The last number with Kristen Chenoweth and Seth MacFarlane, it seemed like the sound was off. I don't know if you could tell where you were behind stage, but sitting on my couch, it seemed like the music was too loud, the microphones weren't up enough. It just seemed like something was off. Did anybody mention that?
Nobody's been talking about that, but that's a great point. I thought they really missed on that, and when they could have nailed it, because some of the stuff that they were saying was very funny, but you couldn't hear it, and it didn't come quickly enough. The setup was way too long. And I think that the producers got this idea from the Tony Awards, because Neil Patrick Harris has done this for the past few years, where he's wrapped up the show at the end, essentially singing about the losers. And that's what they tried to do, but they didn't do it with as much success.
Also, Seth MacFarlane stepped on a couple toes when he had his Rihanna Chris Brown joke. That sort of landed with a thud, but I actually thought that was kind of funny.
I thought that joke was kind of great, to tell you the truth. I think some people were probably feigning shock. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, but there are so many people who are angry and have mixed feelings about that relationship,
right,
that that's what you do. I think that's what a good host does. He skewers what's going on in pop culture, especially if there seems like there's something that's hypocritical or weird going on, and that's what he did.
Yeah, no, I thought overall, I think people don't realize how hard of a job that really is, and the months of preparation that went into that, and then to just arbitrarily say the next morning, I didn't like it, just sort of offends me as an artist.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think, he did what he was paid to do, and I thought that he did it really well. And I would love to see Seth MacFarlane host the Oscars again. He definitely rubbed a few people the wrong way. I mean, there are some scathing critiques, but then there are some really great there are some great supportive critiques as well, and rightfully so. You know, I'm always going to be Team Seth. I love Seth MacFarlane. You know, the opening number, I mean, 19 minutes for the opening, that was ridiculous. That was probably part Seth and part the producers. But there were so many other things that he did well, and he's so versatile. You know, why wouldn't you have him back? Because he might have rubbed people the wrong way. He might have offended a few people. That's what Seth MacFarlane does, and that's why he's pretty much a billionaire.
Right.
So, well, because of that sense of humor.
We got to go, but the breaking news this morning is that David Blaustein had a better seat backstage than Jennifer Garner. How about that? Jennifer Garner behind David Blaustein backstage at the Oscars. David, take care of that voice. Thanks for the extra work, and we'll talk to you on Friday.
Thanks, McGraw.
You got it. 6:30 here on the Big 550 KTRS.